Hey, what's going on everyone? This is Mike Kollin at MikeKollin.com. Alright, so hopefully this will be a short video. I just heard a description about what a narcissist does and I was like, man, that's exactly how it happened. Alright, so here's what it is, and by the way, the music will go down in about 10 seconds or so. See, narcissist, okay, because they're very left brain people, the further you go in the left brain, it's like your vision is getting narrow and narrow and narrow till you're looking under like a tiny little scope, like this little, like you're looking through a straw, and you can only receive that much energy through that little straw. So it's a very limited. It's limited awareness. It's limited understanding. When I say limited, we're talking like you cut out like 98 to 99% of awareness, 99 or 98 to 99% of learning ability. You limit everything down to this small little tiny bit. Now the problem with that is you cannot see other pieces of the puzzle, and therefore you cannot connect the other pieces of the puzzle because okay, let's say you have one piece of the puzzle. That straw is so small, so narrow, you can't even see that whole piece of the puzzle. So what happens is when you're looking around with this little straw, you think that this one piece is the puzzle when it's just one tiny piece of the puzzle. So if you have the ability to go further into your right brain, or even on a medium level, anyone that's very left brain, they can't even comprehend what you're saying. It's like you're speaking a different language, hint, hint, wink, wink, because the right brain is a different language and it processes communication, body language, and information in a completely radically different way because it's using a different processor. The right brain is a different processor just as much as the IBM computer processor is completely different from the Apple computer's processor. So when you're seeing how the pieces of the puzzle fit together, you're seeing multiple pieces of the puzzle and you can go, oh, I see how these connect. You've already lost the narcissist, or you've already lost someone who's extremely logical, like they can't do it. See, social behavior, social communication, relationships is a right brain function. People that are very left brain, they're very awkward in social situations. They have a lot of anxiety in social situations. So this is why when men take my course, Crack the Female Code, I teach them how to open up to the right brain. We go out into public and I teach them the techniques like, hey, you got to practice, do the internal awareness, expand, do this, do that. And we practice it and we condition it into them. So now when they go out in public and they talk to people, they're operating from the social brain, from the relationship brain. And now they have a greater understanding of someone. And now they're feeling comfortable. See, the only reason why you didn't feel comfortable is you were in a completely different energy field. You were in a completely different zone, which was very narrow. Now, when you're in public and you're looking through that microscope or that little straw, you have very limited awareness. And because of that, it causes tremendous anxiety. It's just like the caveman or even an animal. The reason why animals and the caveman used to be in peripheral vision and peripheral auditory, which by the way, I'll teach you how to do. It's a mind expanding experience when you learn how to do all three of them. I didn't even name the third one, but there's more. Is all of a sudden you have this greater awareness around you, and all of a sudden your entire body opens up and relaxes because now you can tell if danger is coming from behind you at 2 miles away. You've got plenty of time to get away, or to the left, or to the right, or to the front. You have a greater awareness, and this is what relaxes you. And this is where you get your social power from. And yes, this is my internal awareness emotional grounding course that I've been talking about. We can do it one-on-one, or if you have a small group and you want to do it, let me know. Okay, I'm coming back and added this in because I realized I missed putting this in here. See, when you're in your right brain, that is the relaxed nervous system. That's when your stomach relaxes, you can breathe deep, you're calm, you're grounded, you're down to earth. The left brain, the further you go in the left brain, the more uptight you get, because it's literally more and more controlled in perfection. And when you're in there, okay, so here's my point. When you are suffering from anxiety, where do you think it's at? Yep, it's in the left brain, because that's the narrow point of the tip of the V, which I show all the time. And you get in that energy and things start ping-ponging around in a very narrow kind of space. So my overall message is this: the left brain, if you go far into it, that's where you have anxiety. If you want to escape anxiety, you learn how to open up to the right brain, which technically means you're dropping down into your body, because those nerves go down into your body. That's why when you get a massage, after about half an hour, you're like, I feel so relaxed. And you walk around for about a day and a half or 2.5 days, you just feel mellow and you don't even know why. So this is why my course, the internal awareness course, the emotional grounding course, grounds you. When I say ground you, I mean it relaxes you. It opens you up and everything starts to flow. And now you can relax. So here's the deal. When you're in your right expanded brain, when you're at a club or at a party or at a family gathering, all of a sudden you're just open. And what this physical... Okay. You have two nervous systems. You have the right brain nervous system. It's called the peripheral nervous system. The left brain is the linear system. It's the logical system, okay? So different sciences use different words. I'm drawing a blank on a couple of them. But the eye doctor will say peripheral versus foveal. Now, foveal is when you're in your left brain and your pupils get really, really small, and then they slightly come together like you're looking at a target, and you're looking down this tiny little like straw or down a microscope. You're looking at microscopic things. The problem with that, if you go out in the real world, lions and tigers and bears can attack you and take advantage of you. And people, when they see that you're in that very narrow vision, they can manipulate you left and right. This is why I was telling you in a couple of videos ago, like, it's really important for you to learn how to be conditioned to drop down inside and expand open, because now you're more relaxed. If you keep listening to all this logical talk about narcissist abuse and step 1, step 2, step 3, it keeps you in that foveal vision, and it's not just your eyes, but it also shuts down your brain into a very narrow band, and you have a extremely limited bandwidth. Meaning you're operating off a very small portion of your brain, thus you're not aware. And now people can manipulate you and take advantage of you. And this terrifies women. So if you're on a date with a woman, whether you're single, married, in a relationship, or it's your first or second date, if you're in that foveal male logical linear system as you're walking through the restaurant, walking downtown, she's terrified. She's in a panic mode because you're not aware, and this scares her because there's lions and tigers and bears out there, and you need to be aware of when people are coming up on you. What are they doing? What's going on? You can feel it. You can sense it when you open up to this greater awareness, and then she calms down. Now she doesn't have to be on alert, because that's the man's job. It really is. It's your job to be aware of your surroundings, literally. Most men, I'm logical and I'm proud of it. Yeah, you're very limited. The logical brain is the child brain. It's the follower brain. It's the boy brain. It's about, what am I supposed to do? I'm a good little boy. What are the rules? And instead of seeing reality for what's going on around you, I'm following the rules. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Yep. And then your wife just got taken from you. Somebody got hurt. You got robbed. You got beaten. You saw them coming, half a mile away, and your wife's like, honey, honey, honey. And you're like, what? Stop pulling on my shirt. What? She's trying to warn you of danger. Women will leave you eventually if they constantly have to be the one that's on alert. Her job is to look after the children, and your job is to have a greater awareness of what's going on around you. It is a team. It's a teamwork. So this is why I teach it in my course, Cracked Female Code, because not only does it relax you, it relaxes her. So now, here's what narcissists do. They have a very narrow vision, okay? Very narrow awareness. They're, honestly, for lack of a better term at the moment, I'm just going to say it, they're very stupid. They literally cannot see what's going on. They cannot connect the dots. They don't understand. So this is how this person explained it. They said it's like you are their foundation. You are the person who's aware of what's going around. You have the GPS tracker. You know where you're going. You know what you need to do next, and after that, and after that, and after that. And the narcissist has no idea what the next step is because they can't make the connections. So in a very illusionary way, it's like they believe that they're putting or making a table on top of your solid table. You have this solid table with 4 legs, big, thick, wide, grounded legs. The table's solid, and they think, oh, I'm just going to make a table on top of this, and therefore I'll be the leader, when they don't even know how to lead. You're the driver. You're in charge. But they think what I'm going to do. Now here's the stupid part of it. In their eyes, they're going, oh, I know what I'll do now. So now that I have all the success, or I'm getting all this attention from people, and they won't say this part, but because of this person that I'm basically standing on their shoulders, I'm just going to push them down. I'm going to knock them away, and I'm going to tell everyone they're no good and talk shit about them, and on and on and on. And then I'll be the king. I'll be the leader. I'll be the driver. And then what they do is they literally, they treat you like shit and you finally leave, or they ghost you and they leave you. And then all of a sudden they fall down because you were the table. Their table didn't even exist. They were standing on your table. And when they got rid of you and your table, everything came crumbling down. You were their emotional support. Many times you were their financial support. You stopped them when they were about to make the biggest mistakes of their life. You explained it to them. You got them out of messy situations where they pissed people off. I mean, you did all kinds. Not only that, but just by being with you, other people were like, well, if this person's with that guy, that girl, well, they must be a pretty cool person or must be a good person. They literally lived off of your energy. They lived off of who you were. That's what made who they are. And the minute you left, all that disappeared because that was you. That was not them. So in their mind, well, I don't want this person to get the attention. I want to be the center of attention. And so they're going to I'm going to knock this person out of the picture. And when they do that, boom, all of a sudden people start losing interest in them. Like, oh, it's not the same kind of vibe. I don't know. Something's different. And they end up leaving, and they ended up knocking themselves on their own butt. It's equivalent to being on a ship. So you got the captain driving the ship, you got the crew running the ship, lifting the sails, turning the sails, steering it, doing all the stuff that they're supposed to do. And this person's just a passenger, and she's like, oh, I'm going to walk in here and I'm going to take charge. And then after a while, they're like, yeah, I'm on this really cool ship, and my friends think I'm cool because I'm on this really cool ship. And they're like, you know what? Screw this ship. I'm going to sink this ship so I get all the attention. Not realizing, wait a minute. If you sink the ship, you're going to sink yourself. They don't figure that out until after they sink the ship. And all the fame and the glory and the money and everything just goes away. Here's the worst part. They ruin it for everybody. Now, there was 2 books I bought a long time ago, and it's funny, I'm looking at one now, and it is about narcissist abuse, but I don't believe it ever even mentions that word, because 20 plus years ago, we weren't really using that word. But the name of this book is Who's Pulling Your Strings? How to Break the Cycle of Manipulation and Regain Control of Your Life by Harriet B. Breaker, PhD. So Breaker is Braker. So I believe it was that. Now there's another book, and I thought it was next to it, but it's not there. So I'm holding this book right now. But one of these books has said how you can tell, what was the word? They didn't use the word narcissist, but it was something to the effect of meaning that, maybe it was like, how can you tell if someone's one of these people? And the answer was, they leave a trail of destruction and destroyed lives behind them. All of their relationships, their children, their friends, the places that they used to work, everything just goes to shit. My mother had 7 beautiful, happy, intelligent, strong, very healthy children. When we were young, we did whatever we want. We were state champions, we were BMX champions, we were good in school, we did this, we did that. But so here, let's fast forward. So we fast forward to about the age of, say I was 45 or something like that. An old friend of me called me. He goes, whatever happened to you guys? You were like the family of the town. Like everyone looked up to you guys. You guys were winning at everything. And the short answer is she destroyed all of us emotionally. It was a complete train wreck. She beat us. I'm not going to go into that. She just destroyed us. I mean, it was just destruction. And look at my stepdad. He was a happy man. He was a good man. She destroyed him emotionally. She destroyed my dad. My dad was phenomenal. He was extremely smart. He was unbelievably good at sports. He's better than I ever could have imagined being in my life. Literally, like every narcissist does, they divide you. We are all divided. None of us talk. And before we all kind of went our own ways, even when we did get together once in a while for Thanksgiving or Christmas, like in our 20s or 30s, it was nothing but bickering and fighting, and we're all kind of, beating each other's butt. I mean, verbally at least. I just had to throw this in there. I thought this was the funniest meme. It says, "Oh, I don't drink alcohol or drugs. I like my suffering raw. Thanks." So there's only one thing I really want to say after that is narcissists are going down, and everyone around them is going to go down with them. That's the way they are. That's what they do. Like they can't understand. Like, hey, have you ever been a captain of a ship? No. Have you ever even driven a sailboat on your own? No. Have you ever driven a rowboat? No. Have you ever been in the Navy? No. What makes you think you're going to sink this ship and all of a sudden you're going to be fine? It's like, well, I've got my own ship. It's like, no, you don't. Like, you're on someone else's ship. This is not your ship. If you sink this ship, you're standing on this ship and you're going to go down with it. They cannot see that. I'm going to give you a real life example from my life. When I was going into 9th grade, as I told you, I got drafted in the 6th round or 8th round of the Major League Baseball draft, and when my coach brought the clipping from the newspaper, I thought, oh, that's bullshit. You somehow print it. He goes, how would I print this? Because back then, it wasn't like the way it is today where you can print all kinds of stuff off a computer. We didn't even have computers back then. So, long story short, it was kind of a big deal. I was freaking in 9th grade, and, I got drafted, and I go, what does that mean? I'm not going to the pros. I'm a kid. He goes, well, it just means when you turn 18, if you whether, you go to college first or whatever, if you decide to go to the pros, they have your name, and therefore you're theirs. They can either keep you and offer you a contract, or they can sell your contract to someone else, or do it like a trade. I was like, oh, okay. So, it was a kind of a nothing burger, but it was cool. Essentially, for the most part, I was a straight A student. There was a period of time, I think it was like 6 years, where I literally got all A's. I was just a smart, hardworking kid. I was great in sports, winning state championships, national championships, just doing really good in life. And everyone knew, oh, this guy's going to be successful. And I remember my mom was driving us we're in Napa Valley, the city of Napa. We were in Silverado Country Club. That was like the elite of the elite. That was like where the rich people lived, okay? And from my heart, I said something like, I'm going to be so rich, Mom. Now, I'm in the car with, I think, 3 of my siblings. I think it was 3 of them. 2 brothers and my younger sister. And I said, Mom, I'm going to work so hard. I'm going to be so rich. I said, you're never going to have to work again. I'm going to buy you a multi-million-dollar home right here in Silverado Country Club. And I'm going to buy you a brand new Cadillac every 2 years. Now, you would have thought, oh, wow, what a wonderful kid. That's great, good, you're so loving, or whatever. Oh, no, she didn't take it that way. She got pissed, she just, steamed. And I was looking at her that didn't make, why is she mad? It made no sense to me. And my brothers and sisters were dead quiet, they were pissed off too. I'm thinking, what, why is this a problem? She went out of her way to do everything she could to destroy me. And when I was 20 years old, she came over to my apartment at the time, and she flat out told me, she goes, I did everything in my power to destroy you. And I remember falling to my knees, just why? Because I couldn't believe that my mom was doing that stuff on purpose, even though as I look back now, well, yeah, duh. And I remember crying and begging, why? I don't understand. What did I do? And she flat out said, she goes, everything you do, you're the best at. You're the captain of the football team. You guys are section champions. You went to the state championships in wrestling. You're a state champion in boxing, blah, blah, blah. And I'm wait, what? And I remember saying, but why are you mad? She goes, I just told you. And I'm this doesn't, my brain couldn't, I heard her, I understood the English, but I couldn't comprehend the thought that a mother would hate her own child because he was doing good. I remember getting a really bad feeling in my gut, like I was in trouble or I did something wrong. But for the life of me, I was like, wait, what? I don't understand. Like, they were mad at me. They were pissed. Ever since I was a little child, my mother has worked her ass off, waitressing and, running restaurants and etc. And I remember every morning when she woke up, she had apparently someone had thrown a bottle on the ground and it cut her ankle or tendons, and the surgery really didn't help much, and it was always swollen and she was always in a lot of pain. And that's essentially what I was saying is like, Mom, I don't want you to have to go through that pain of standing on your feet, for 8, 10 hours, 12-hour days. So you'll never have to work and you're going to have this really nice life. Now, I'm thinking this is a good thing, but apparently they had a different perspective. Well, I remember when we got older, I remember just looking at my mom, like eventually she was living in an apartment. Because she just went down from a beautiful home to renting a home to owning 2 restaurants, to owning a beautiful home in a beautiful neighborhood, upper middle class, and it went down and down and down to where literally the last 20 years of her life she was living in a trailer park. And I'm just like looking at her like, look at what you've done. All her children are hooked on drugs and alcohol, and they're just miserable. Most of them are broke. I think only 2 of them are really surviving or making a good living or decent living. When we were kids, we were happy. We were spontaneous. We were spunky. We were energized. We were creative. We were everything you can imagine. The most beautiful group of children if you've ever seen. And I could tell you what, if you could come back about 25, 30 years later, you're like, what happened? The way you can spot a narcissist is they leave behind a trail of destroyed lives. Once I realize someone's a narcissist, I'm done with them. I don't care if they've never done nothing wrong to me. Once I'm like, oh, this person's a narcissist, I'm done. I'm done. I block them. I cut them out. I say, hey, I'm not interested in talking to you. I'm done. Whether it takes me a week, 2 weeks, a month, 6 months to figure it out, once I figure it out, I walk away. The only thing that can come from being around a narcissist and having a narcissist in your life is total destruction. Period. The reason why I'm emphasizing this so much is a lot of people, even after knowing what narcissist abuse is and for the most part understanding how destructive they are, they don't quite get it. It's like, what are you doing? Get away from them. When the Titanic went down, it wasn't just the captain and his crew. It was everybody that was on the ship. I have a really, really strong feeling someone listening to this, or probably a couple of you, you're on a ship that's about to go down and you know it and you can see it. And you think, oh, no, I'm going to fix this. No, you're not. Jump ship. Get off. Get on dry land. Get onto another ship that doesn't have a narcissist that's planning to take it down. So to each his own. I mean, really, like me personally, like if I'm dealing with narcissists, like, yeah, I'm not going to deal with this. I'm not going to do this. I'm moving on to, how do they say it? Smoother waters. So that's it, guys. I really do wish you guys the best. Be smart, make wise decisions. Choose your friends, family, coworkers, etc. wisely. Make decisions. Sometimes you got to make a tough decision to better your life. Alright, God bless you guys. If you like this video, please click subscribe, click the like button, go ahead and make a comment. And if you're so inclined, please go ahead and leave a donation. There is a PayPal link right there in the description box below the video. Alright guys, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.